Cardano, the Ethereum killer, the unshakable, that's what they told us. Then, wham, Cardano fell off a cliff. We're going to be taking a look at what's happened with Cardano's ADA in terms of price action, taking a look at the technical analysis, sharing my thoughts and opinions on where I think Cardano is heading next. Okay guys, we're going to start things off by taking a look at Cardano here, paired up with USDT. This is the one-day Binance chart. And Cardano has seen a very significant drop to the downside. We have seen things collapse down over 50% in a very short space of time. This essentially is between the 14th of March and the 14th of April. So in a 1 month span, we have seen Cardano drop by over 50%. Now, this does have a lot of investors really concerned and really worried about what to do with their Cardano investments. So sit tight as we jump back down into the charts and we'll review where I think things are heading here for Cardano. So with a 50% move to the downside for ADA, we do see a lot of slippage. Now this slippage to the downside has actually got a few points of concern, a few things that we need to be a little bit kind of cautious on. So let me kind of run through some of the technicals here. Now we do have, unfortunately, a series of lower highs and lower lows. I'll draw a little trend line on here just to kind of show you what that looks like. As you can kind of see, we have this really steep decline. I'll try to zoom in to try to make this a little bit easier for you guys to see from the higher or the lower highs. We also see that we have lower lows coming in down here as well. Okay, now this is unfortunately an incredibly bearish position to find ourselves in. With lower highs and lower lows, this is a pretty bearish tell from a technical analysis standpoint. Sometimes you can find yourself with a bit of saving grace when it comes to lower highs and lower lows. However, in Cardano's case here, we don't seem to find those either. Let me show you what I mean. So as we come back down into our chart here with these lower highs and these lower lows, one of the things that we'd be looking for to try to find some form of recovery would be for us to see an overlapping candlestick pattern. And unfortunately, what we found is we have these larger drops with no overlap breaching some of those existing highs. Now, if you are following your kind of traditional analysis here with the kind of lower highs and lower lows, then, you know, it's not going to necessarily give you insight as to kind of where things could potentially be heading. However, if we start applying more advanced technical analysis, such as Elliott wave theory, we can actually start to plot out where the next big moves for Cardano are likely to be. And unfortunately, they're not looking overly that strong. Let me show you what I'm seeing inside the charts here. So we have ourselves a bit of a 5-wave pattern occurring for Cardano at this level here. We also see ourselves with the formation of a 5-wave pattern over this side as well, coming down to our most recent low. We've bounced up into the 4th wave and we're looking for that next 5th wave movement. Now I have marked on the chart here at 38.65 cent, a 1.618 Fibonacci extension level. Now, this Fibonacci 1.618 level is absolutely key to Elliott wave theory. Anything that goes down deeper than 1.618 is considered a trend. And so when we're looking at the charts here, we can see that we have dropped down, or in the potential moves coming in the next kind of day or so, we're likely to go down deeper than 1.618. That is going to dictate to us that Cardano is in an downward trend, meaning that we found our local top and we've got more slippage to the downside to be expected. Let's come back down into the chart. So with this move coming down here, our next kind of big major expectation for Cardano is to come down towards 35.74 to 38.32 cent. This is going to mark that big 5-wave move that you see there. Now, the problem that you have is you cross the 1.618, which means that we can now start to address this as a bigger wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5, where we will be looking at targeting down probably towards the kind of low 30s, maybe even 30 cent. Okay, and again, because we then have a 53535 Elliott wave pattern structure potentially here, it means that actually we can then take a look at our top at 81.04 cent as our beginning structure, where we can then go and have a look at this as a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, 4, and 5, and would see 30 cent ADA potentially get lost as a support level that just wouldn't actually continue to be there. Now, this can be obviously quite scary for any potential new crypto investors out there, and it does present itself with a lot of losses potentially on the horizon for Cardano ADA holders. But in that is also an opportunity. As we have a slippage in the price action, it gives us the opportunity to dollar cost average and build out even bigger positions when it comes to Cardano's ADA. I, for one, am not panic selling. I am just looking at this and saying, I still believe that the long-term picture for Cardano is actually looking very, very good. And everything that was going on in terms of the price action with Cardano and with the wider altcoin market is as predicted and as we have been expecting to see in the crypto market for quite some time. That's why it's not a shock to us to see these kind of moves. Let's head back down into the charts here and look at Cardano. So in a little bit more of a deeper light, we can see that we'd have this rather complex 53535 move to the downside. Now, there is, of course, the idea of a saving grace. We haven't yet gone down deeper than 1.618. This means that if price is able to rally up and is able to rally higher than 56.89, that is this white line just coming through here, then we would have a breakout situation that would break this structure and avoid those kind of 535 kind of structures going down deeper and would prevent us from going into those kind of low 30s. So we will look at the charts and we say to ourselves, okay, if we want to be bullish on the market, we really have to see the price rally higher than 56.89 cents. And if you really want to be bearish on the market, your next key targets are going to be 35.74 to 38.32, which will be deeper than our 1.618 range. Now, when we were to complete this 5-wave pattern to the downside, it does put Cardano even more of a risky play. And I'll explain why if I just go ahead and remove some of these internal working. If we do go ahead and complete this pattern down here, this would be a pretty deep trend-based pattern of 5 waves. Now, the saving grace here would be that there would be a relief rally from, let's say, around that kind of 30 cent, maybe a little bit lower, up towards probably this area of resistance that we had seen before, around 50 cent or so. This relief rally would be the saving grace for exiting your positions should you want to, because what happens afterwards would be an additional big 5-wave move to the downside. Now, anyone who is an OG of the channel will know that we have been tracking some interesting kind of areas over the last few kind of months and, thoughts and ideas as to kind of where Cardano's major support levels are going to be. And there are a few interesting ranges. Obviously, this yellow one down here is an interesting range that we've been talking about for probably a year or so for Cardano. And this would be a new bear market low, indicating that this run to the upside on ADA is actually just a kind of bear market rally. Okay, now I don't believe that's necessarily the case. And what we really want to do is avoid a trend-based pattern to the downside here, because it would allow us to look at this as our kind of reversal in the market from our bear market low of 2023, and will allow us then to continue running up into new time highs. Now, obviously, when it comes to the crypto space, we can make no guarantees. The crypto space is incredibly volatile, and for the most part, we're just trying to kind of plot out where the majority of traders are heading. That's exactly what Elliott wave theory does. It tracks the behaviors of people who are basically buying and selling cryptocurrency assets. And in the case of Cardano right now, it appears that there's a lot more sell pressure than there is buying pressure. And this could be a concern for any short-term ADA holders. In the long term, though, I do think that Cardano is very well positioned, and I do think it's going to perform incredibly well. We just have to deal with a little bit of volatility for now. Let's head back down into show you something else that's going on for Cardano here. Now, if we go ahead and throw on our smart money concepts, we can see that our 1.618 target range actually falls in line with where the discounted range is. It's where we're likely to see the next big reversal for ADA. So let me go ahead and just tidy off the Elliott wave, and we'll just show this trend to the downside. We do have a change of characterization. So we were in a bullish state of play, and now we've gone into a bearish state of play. This was confirmed to us on the 13th of April. Okay, so we look down here for our yellow box range where we think our next expectation is and where our 1.618 target range is. This happens to fall in line with where the discounted range is from a smart money concepts point of view. What this tells us is that this is where the buyers are going to be, and this is where we're likely to see a significant bounce to the upside for ADA. Now, that bounce might not be strong, it might not be long-lived, but a bounce should occur in and around this kind of discounted range and 1.618 target. Now, if we go ahead and throw on our 50 EMAs, 50 SMA, and our 200 EMA, we can also see some interesting things going on. The current price action on the daily chart did close below the 200 EMA on the 12th of April. This, unfortunately, is also a very bearish turn. The 200 EMA, guys, acts as your trend filter. If your price action on a daily time frame is above the 200 exponential moving average, then things are bullish. And if you are lower than the 200 EMA on a daily time frame, then you are bearish. So taking a look at the price action with the price currently lower than the 200 EMA, it doesn't give us a strong outlook. A lot of traders will look at this and say we can only go short positions whilst that EMA, or while the price is below that 200 EMA. Let's come into the charts. So with price action also lower than our 200 EMA, we can see here that we do also see the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA just above the price action as well. So essentially what we've got here is a very bearish setup. We can see the lower lows and the lower highs with price action lower than the 50 EMA, the 50 SMA, and the 200 EMA. Cardano essentially just is not in a strong position at the moment. But I do think a relief rally is coming, and that relief rally could be the saving grace for many investors who find themselves trapped in positions. So guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. Why don't you let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Do you think that Cardano is going to be able to recover from this potential downtrend that it finds itself in, or do you think it is now time to bail on ADA and go into something else? Guys, let me know in the comments below, and why don't you check out this video here where we're discussing what's going on with BTC.